Here we are live. Let me put the phone up here. Get this situated. Let me get the other phone going here, and that way I can monitor myself. Got a couple things here from, well, I guess this is the 200T cylinder. I think it's actually an O20T cylinder, but that's okay. I like these, by the way. I really like these packages. Get this set up here. Hopefully this will pick up the Wi-Fi in a second. There we go. Okay. Why you're not picking up the Wi-Fi? Come on. Am I live here? Holy cow, we got 5 guys. Okay, so we're live. Sorry, I'm just trying. Oh, there we go. Good. Now I just want to monitor myself, that's all. Back online. Yeah, no joke. Thanks. By the way, these Postal Service bags, I reuse these all the time. Nice to have reusable bags like this, but still gotta cut them open. Jeez. Yeah, this is an O20T head, but this will be fine. That will be fine. It's in fine shape. Beep, 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 beep. Whatever. Okay, no, no, no. Go to me. Where's me? There's me. Haha! I found myself. Too many other notifications. Get rid of all the notifications. I don't need them. Goodbye. Okay. Good. There we go. Ha! Alright, so this is the replacement cylinder head for the 200T. And it looks pretty good, so I really don't need to worry about that. Actually, I'll go dump this in the ultrasonic. But definitely reuse those bags. Here's the oiler for the 200T. How's everybody's day? How'd you guys do today? Oh. That's not good. The oiler broke in shipping. Shucks. Well, I can't fix that. But I might be able to use this to repair the other one. Yeah, the tab broke off. Shipping damage. Did you make any money at Aroundex? Hopefully you made money. Let's see if this actually works. Oh yeah, the oil goes right through. That's good. Okay. 7:30 to 8. It's quite the hours. I ran the 385 today. Put about another tank through it. It's a little on the thirsty side. It idles, it revs. It's got good compression, good power. But I'm questioning whether or not I need to change the carburetor. Hey, John. You liked the log cutting video, huh? Was that cool or what? We had fun with that. So what I did today was I took the 385 with my buddy Steve there. He's the tree guy, or one of the tree guys. He had a job up a bit away from here, and they had a log, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll just take it, and we'll make beams out of it." And I'm like, "Okay, whatever." So the log turned out, I thought it was like 18 feet. It's actually 19 feet long, plus. It's a little more than 19 feet long. And trailered it, got it on the mill. And the way that you get it off the trailer is pretty simple. You just have a pull post, and you hook it to the back side of the log, and you just drive away. There should be a video from earlier. Is it not on my queue? Not on the list of my videos? Should be a video from earlier. I did just a short video on milling. And where's Ken? He was texting me, harping me on me for the milling. Anyway, so can you show how you load and unload the log? Actually, I have other videos of me. You're here, Ken. Good. Okay. John, I have other videos of me actually loading and unloading logs, like by myself. So if you want to see that and want to see how I approach logs, there are other videos of me doing that. Going live and doing videos outside is a little tricky for me, so I don't mind going live, but doing it by myself ends up being tough. Yeah, Steve, I think I'm kind of stuck to this live streaming thing for a bit. You know, but I have guys like you that show up and ask good questions, and we have challenging discussions, and that's fine. You know, I'm happy with that. So anyway, one of the keys to loading logs is just to remember that it isn't strength. You have to be really super careful, especially if you're by yourself. If you're loading a big log, if you don't have equipment, if you've got everything like just it's all manual. you've got to be really, really careful, and you have to use your head. So if you're using strength, something's probably wrong. Um, Even if you got a 2,000 pound log, I mean, I can load a log by myself, probably up to 2,000 pounds, without too much trouble. The log today, which was 19 feet, I don't know the exact diameter of the butt, but I would guess somewhere around 18, 19 inches. So it was a fairly straight log, fairly round log. Um, it was nice to have it round and straight like that. But I could probably have loaded that and done that mostly by myself. The tricky thing, if you're doing everything manually, is like the third turn. So if you make a flat, you turn it, you make a flat, you turn it, you make a flat. The third turn gets really tough because you're on flats. You're working against flats on flats. So rather than round on flat or whatever, so it just doesn't slide well, and then you need some power to do that. Yeah, having winch and ramps and all that stuff would certainly help. I'm not quite there yet. It would be kind of nice to have a gantry system. We've toyed with that idea. Hasn't happened yet. Yeah, Adirondacks. I have a few other milling videos. Nothing, they're really kind of boring, but it shows how I've learned how to approach things, and a lot of my milling is stuff that I have not learned from other people necessarily, but stuff that I've kind of figured out on my own. The quarter sawing I learned, I think, by watching that guy that does the Norwood videos, and there are other people that do not do quarter sawing correctly. Um, so I was watching another guy trying to do quarter sawing, and he just wasn't even close. So that type of stuff kind of drives me nuts. Yeah, I can't do a live milling on the Bridgeport because it's out in the barn and there is no cell reception and no wireless reception out there either. What might be cool is to pull pull a line through and then put a wireless hotspot out there. I have to ask Dad if that's possible. I don't see that happening anytime soon, though. But I'd actually love to have an electric winch on my log hauler that I welded up. I welded that a while ago, and that's been hugely helpful, but it would be really cool to have an electric winch on that. I forget what the company is that make log haulers. It's like $3,500 for one of their log haulers. It's a logging arch. They call it a logging arch, and it's like a round thing where the log goes in the center, and you attach the winch to it, and it goes. And if you grab the log by the center of gravity, the log balances, and all the weight is on the arch, and you can move it around like super easy. So when I saw that, I was like, boy, that's cool, but I can't afford one. So let me see if I can go and weld one up. And I did, and it works great. So this is kind of disappointing. So we'll have to fiddle around with the oiler a little bit more. I was kind of hoping to not to, but if I got to do that, I got to do that. So how did everybody else's day go? I had fun milling. I did some cutting with the 385. Pretty good. I gotta sharpen it because I think I ran into some asphalt shingles. Whoops. Don't ask on that. Don't ask. He made jigs that should be sold to Wood-Mizer. skip Wood-Mizer and just sell them to all, you know, go on forestry for them and sell them. I watched a video not too terribly long ago, Goodall Guitars, and how Goodall custom makes guitars. That was a fantastically interesting video. So, but there was like jigs for everything. They had routers that were just set up to do one little section of purfling or something. Whatever it was just crazy cool to watch. So if you go check that video out. Goodall Guitars. They have a shop tour. Larry, you cut down a sugar maple with your 385. What size bar? What do you like on your 385? I don't own a 385 right now. I don't own a 385 or 390, but I definitely like the 28 with this. And yeah, Logrite is the company. That's correct, Ken. So I'm gonna shucks on this oiler. Maybe we'll fiddle with that tonight. Let's fiddle with that a little bit. Of course, I'm assuming that I've got the old oiler here somewhere. Where the devil did I put it? Hope I didn't throw it out already. Then I gotta get another new one. Over here? Here it is. Aha, it's here. The key is I gotta pop that roll pin out. Hey, Tim. He is jigged to cut angled siding. Yeah, I've actually cut angled roofing for my what is it? I've got a wood bin, and what I do is I'll get I had a 13-foot log cut like 12 inches wide, and you just raise one side half an inch, go down, make your cut, and then pull that piece out, the half-inch, you know, just a piece of furring strip effectively, but pull that piece out, then the whole thing drops, and then you make another cut. And then now you have pine siding effectively, or in my case roofing. I just use it for roofing my wood bin, and that's cheaper than getting a tarp. So. Yeah, I like a 28 on the 385. If I'm using a 24, I prefer my 372. You can I think 20-inch on a 372 with an 8-pin, with a ported 372, 20-inch 8-pin or 24 7-pin on a 372. I've used 32-inch on a 372. It doesn't feel right, but it'll do it. He just flips a lever, makes a change for him on the siding. Yeah, Norwood has that too. They actually have a jig for that, for the Norwood. Did Ryan show up yet? You get the longer the bar seems to be preferred. Yeah, it's easier to not lean down when you get the longer bar. It's also nice to have the Sugiharas are lightened, so the tip is it's less nose heavy effectively, so it's easier to get down there and then get back up. So what do I do first? See if I can pop out this pin. I'd love to pop out that darn pin. I need my auto punch, but I don't know where it went. It's not over here. I have an auto punch. It'll go clunk and I'll just start popping the pin out, but I don't know where it went. I don't think it's in any of these drawers. It's supposed to be in this one whole thing, but I don't see it. So I have to get inventive. Lovely. How am I supposed to pop out a tiny roll pin? Anybody have that for me? Interesting. I actually found a screwdriver that's junk. What if I can cut this off? Do I go hunting? No. Not that I wouldn't, but I have not done that sort of stuff in a very, very long time. Roll pin punch, little ball end on the tip. Well, I don't have a roll pin punch. I have an idea. I think this is about the right diameter. Use a finish nail. Actually, this is a crappy screwdriver. It looks like it's like for glasses or something like that, but I'm sure that this is not anything special. So I've got a little tip on it. Little tip with a ledge. I wonder if it'll grab it. Let's go from the other side. I wonder if it's too big, slightly. think it's slightly too big. Harbor Freight gift card. I just wanted to grab the edge of the roll pin, but have small enough diameter to slide through. Yeah, that might actually be working. Yeah, the roll pin's moving now. What a pain. My pin punches are Craftsman. Use a lot of drive shaft pins, old Cub Cadets. Steve, I saw $4 coming home from town a mile from my house. See, in Connecticut, we have so many deer, we don't know what to do with them. You know, a lot of people do this deer hunting stuff. We don't need to do that here in Connecticut. Just look out your back door. Yeah, it's coming now. Cool. Actually, what we have had here, last night before last, we actually had a bear coming around the neighborhood. And since I live in like half-acre zoning, that's certainly not preferable, you know? Still not moving good. Like Mastermind says, don't push it all the way out. You get halfway and then you stop? That's not fair. Yeah, there's plenty. Hi, William. There's plenty of dead deer on the Merritt, no question. Use a bigger set of dice just to see if I can pull this out of here. Yeah, there we go. So this adjustment screw is still in there. I guess I'll pull the roll pin further. It's got to move now. There. Okay, so the adjustment screw is out. The roll pin is only partially out. Now this, the piston here, comes out. Now there may be more washers in here. Yep. So that washer goes in. So let's see how gunked up this was. Should be a straight shot through. It is not. Superty duperty gunked. Hoping to not to have to do this. Easier to get a new pump here, but all right. Okay, that's good there. But that's still clogged for some reason. How about a teeny tiny drill? 1/16. There we go. Got it. Well, there's definitely something in here that was gunking that up. Don't know what it was, but there you go. Better. What a pain. Where's my brake cleaner? There we go. So you can... Now it goes through. Hey, John. Did you get it figured, John? Was that thing in upside down? I may just stick this in the ultrasonic, but might not need to. $12 people watching. That's cool. What am I doing? Just cleaning an oil pump here for the 200T for Brian and Ryan. I decided to get aggressive with it after the one that somebody sent me was damaged in shipping. Still will not disengage. Well, that at least is a little bit interesting. All right, this washer is going to go in. Actually, let's put the washer right here. Put the pump back on. The carrying handle gets in the way, yeah. Sometimes you have to grind stuff out of the way. I got to push this down. While I seat that. Sure. I can push it down and hold it while I give this a whack. Almost. It's the rubber pieces, don't want it to, to fully seat. Not want to go. App for the auto tune. Since they want you on the dole at the dealer, I don't think so. I think it'd be interesting, but I think somebody will hack it. I don't think that'll be too much of a surprise if that happens. Yeah, I might have to do that, but the guts here actually look okay. Let's use my favorite, grease. Down. See, on most pumps I can hold it. I can hold it with my finger, but on this one I can't. There. There we go. Went. It's got to be, you have to hold this pump all the way in order to get that to seat. Okay, now the roll pin. Yeah, this was crap specifically in the line here. Do air dryer lumbar inside or out? Outside. Stack and sticker. Bump works now. There was a piece. Aha! It's still here. I saved it. Yeah, the stacking and stickering for me always ends up being an afterthought, but as it turns out, it really is just crucial. The other problem that I have is I'll mill some beautiful stuff. I'll mill like the most gorgeous pieces of wood, and a year later I'll have no idea what I milled them for. Happens to me all the time. Yeah, I got stickers all over the place. Now I'm finally starting to actually use up some of the lumber. Yeah, that pump works now. Cool. This is busted, but I can just save this and... pile here. Brian and Ryan, if you want the broken pump, you're welcome to it. If you want to try to get your money back, you're welcome to that also. But, yeah. Main thing it did was give me inspiration to look at that other one a little harder. Had whiskers hanging out the gear? Yee. Alright, I guess I gotta do some sharpening. This is gonna be a little more serious sharpening than before because this is... well, the chain's kind of trouble. Throw that in here somewhere. Mouse whiskers. Actually, another nice thing that I do have from Harbor Freight, I think this was from Harbor Freight. Just get like the assortment of little drills, because that way, you know, when you tend to break them if you're going after stuff. Notice I'm short a few. Need to go resupply. Oil pump of the 660 and the Huskies are child's play compared to the 180 or the 250. Yeah. So the 180 or the 250 might work fine otherwise, but it also goes to show you, you know, if you don't like working on something, you know, I have stuff that I don't mind working on as stuff that I own. It's one of my criteria for owning a saw is how easy is it to work on, you know? So let's do a little bit of sharpening here. I'm sharpening because I need to sharpen, but I'm also sharpening just so I can hang out with you guys. So if you guys have questions or comments or whatever, then fire away. Yeah, these are pretty shot, so So I look kind of for the worst one and figure out how many swipes it takes to get it back to pretty good. That was 12. Let's go to 14. And then I can do the next one to 14. And on a 28-inch chain, it takes a bit. Easy to start, stays lit, and red light. Most of all, dependable. Yeah, you know, everybody's got different criteria. I depend on all my saws to need work. Still not enough on that one. Gotta go back. Let's go to 17 swipes. Better. This might have been easier to put on the grinder. How do you know when it's time for a rebuild? That's a reasonable question. It depends on, well, what are the symptoms? Did the saw die? Is it not restarting? What's the compression? John, I actually hit some asphalt shingles. They were on the other side of a log. Oops. Right, William. First, define a rebuild, and you know what do you mean rebuild? I usually figure on rebuilds being K-splits, but the one time I almost for sure won't rebuild a bottom end is if I know something was straight gassed. I love straight gas saws because I know exactly what's wrong with them. Throw a new top end on and go. But if anything else, I mean, if the top end is ruined, you have to diagnose and figure out what's really going on. And most of the time, those saws are 20 some odd years old. They've been dragged behind a truck, and it's time to split the case and put new bearings in. Now, not all saws that are 20 years old need new bearings, but I usually do bearings for peace of mind. Number one cause of bad seals is bad bearings. Why are you counting strokes? That way I get the teeth as even as possible without measuring, because I'm not quite that exact. You can be that exact. You're welcome to be, but yeah, I like the bar too. I like the bar. I've got a 32 out in the shed. It's basically brand new. I've got a 24 on its way. I have two 20s and a 16. I'd love to round it out and have a 36 also. And I don't even cut that much. Yeah, the thing to do when you're sharpening is basically go around, find the worst tooth, sharpen that tooth, figure out the length of that tooth, and then sharpen every other tooth down to that length. And then you set the rakers, and you go. Yeah, you can use a caliper for the confirmation of the shortest tooth. So it depends on how exact you want to be with a chain. I'm personally not that exact, mostly because I'm just not, you know, just not worried about it. I get my chains pretty darn sharp, and they work pretty good for me. But I don't even want to mess with individually setting the rakers personally. It drives me nuts. So after something like this, I'll probably take 3 swipes off of each raker and call it good. That's bad info. All the teeth do not need to be the same. No, they don't need to be the same as long as you set the rakers to the individual tooth. But if you don't want to set the rakers to the individual tooth, then you need to even up the teeth. So if you want everything to be uniform, then the first place that you start is with the tooth. If you are going to individually set the rakers, then no, you don't need to have the teeth to be identical. For me, I just count strokes. And I'm just here to talk. And if you want to tell me I'm doing it wrong, that's fine. Just be prepared to line up next to me in a cant. That's all. Just saying. It's raker height. Yeah, well, it's the raker height compared to the tooth. Yes. You'll feel pulling if your rakers are too low. But if this tooth is short and the raker's set to 0.25 on that tooth, and this tooth is long and the raker's set to 0.25 on that tooth, you would not feel a pull difference. I don't think you would. Why would you feel a pull difference? Now you guys made me lose count. What am I on? So I don't even get into like Steve Robb said, he's like, don't get into cutting angles and oil. I don't even really care about all that stuff. I just like to get my teeth reasonably sharp. I set my rakers what I believe to be a reasonable height for feel, and that's how I do it. And if thank you, G3, I do appreciate it. My videos are not I was explaining this last night. You guys take me way more seriously than I take myself. And don't think I don't appreciate it. I do. It's just at least a little bit humorous to me that people are interested in what I do and how I do it. I'm not a professional tree guy. I have no professional training on how to sharpen a chain. My dad will school me on sharpening a chain just about any day. I like Rich Chainsaw Guy's auto raker grinder setups. You know, I would love to send a chain out to the guys that have the Franzen machines. Was it Razor Sharp? Those guys? just to see what they can come up with. So yeah, so anyway, I don't consider myself a professional mechanic. I don't consider myself a professional chainsaw guy. I just happen to have quite a bit of experience now working on literally trashed chainsaws. Yes, I don't play, and I definitely don't want to play a dentist on television. I have no desire to do that. I think of all the trouble I could get into if I started doing dentistry on TV. I think it would be awesome to do dentistry live. I really do. But I gotta imagine I would get into never-ending trouble for doing that. I don't know. That one came out pretty good. That's better than most. Of course, I'm probably going to have to change this file after I'm done here. Actually, what I need to do is I need to watch more of John Riley's sharpening stuff, because he does really nice chains. And his production value is a whole lot higher than mine. Is John on tonight? G3, thank you. I actually have my buddy Dan that does the get-togethers here in Connecticut has a Sylvie square grinder, and I've run his chains. And actually, I have one sitting over there. I have to look at that, but that is fun. And after seeing how he does it, and how good the square grinder is, I was actually looking at that. I was like, geez, that would be kind of fun to have a Sylvie square grinder. Four full sharpenings on a 32 bar with each file. So G3, thank you for the offer. I have a guy local that can do it for me if I want. I do appreciate it. And believe it or not, some of the chain stuff is actually lost on me. It's not that I don't appreciate a good chain, but it's like really good beer. Who came on? Symington 451C. I'm not familiar. I think he has a Sylvie square grinder. I don't know if there's what the difference is between the Symingtons and the Sylvies. I don't know. We're at the last Connecticut get together. David Young was there, and he offered me a Heady Topper beer, which I know is one of like the premier top beers in the world, and they're difficult to get. And I told him no thank you, not because I don't drink beer, but because the novelty of it is lost on me. So it's kind of the same thing with the exotic chains. I do appreciate them, but for me to run something like that, it's lost on me. I just don't take it that serious, There are people that certainly do and do appreciate it. They do not make that grinder anymore. Yeah, do they make any square grinders right now, guys? I'd love to know. The Sylvies are tough to pick up. You know, you got to have a spare grand sitting around, and then you have to spend time setting it up and whatnot. I was not looking forward to sharpening this, by the way. 710, but they're a grand, yeah. So for $8 a chain, you could send them to Razor Sharp. 451C, $9.99 at Bailey's. Great. It's 100 chains. I don't know if I've gone through 100 chains. I don't know if I've gone through 100 sharpenings in my chainsaw career. Maybe 100. To think about it. Yeah. I like seeing John Riley's collection of stuff, though. He's got files and this and that. Crazy. He's got stuff, that guy. 451, $9.99 at Bailey's, not in stock till 10/31. Lovely. They have just as much trouble keeping that stuff in stock as I do have trouble keeping tools in stock. Yeah, John does a nice job, and hopefully tomorrow night we're going to be putting together the 200, and I'm going to use his idea, which was the pliers for the circlips. I probably should have put this on the grinder just to kind of even things up and get rid of the peening. And then go back by hand if I needed to. The grinder that I have is just the cheap Harbor Freight one, and I can't set the angle not this way. It's this way. I want it to come in at a bit of a steeper angle, but I can't set it, so oh well. Filing is so tricky. It really is. Because you have to, where you put the pressure is important and all that stuff. It's filing by hand is really a trick. What else did I do today? Made the beams. That was cool. Buggered the chain. Dropped a tree. I gotta put the different carburetor on this. The get-togethers are a lot of fun. Yeah, they are. The one that Dan put on last was really fun, but it was also quite pricey, and so, which I didn't really realize, but it's a lot of work for whoever hosts. Even if you have only like 20 people there, it is an enormous amount of work. Porta potties and all kinds of, crazy. You need nearly a full kitchen set up because you need a good breakfast spread for everybody. I mean, shoot, I'm there the night before. I show up literally the night before and sleep in my car because I can't really sleep much anyway, at least not before they get together. I'm on 6. Does anybody know when to throw out files? Does anybody have a gauge that they use or a metric that they use to say, okay, the file is done? Because I think I probably should toss the files a little sooner than I do. Billy Ray says 4 for a 32-inch chain, but maybe it might be sooner than that. I don't know. Because as you go, it's getting dull, effectively. Right? $11, $12... When it stops cutting, yeah. Same with chains, right? They're cheap, 2 or 3 sharpening. Yeah. I have a pile of the what is it, the 7/32 right now, and this is 3/8 chain, so I have a pile of them, so I don't have a problem throwing them out if it just whines. See, but when you feel it stop cutting, they get slick and shiny. When you feel it stop cutting, sometimes it's the tooth itself that's overly hard. I've had that happen, and all of a sudden it goes whoosh, slides right across the tooth. You say, what the heck happened? I've seen teeth that are overly hard. You get a brand new file, and it still slides across. Then, now you got to put it on the grinder for sure, or just throw the chain out and be like, I can't deal with this. My Save Edge Raker files. I do like them. This might actually be a 13/64 file. I don't know. I got these out of like literally a no-name parts lot. This cuts pretty good, amazingly. But yeah, these Raker files are nice, I think, by Save Edge. And supposedly you can send them back to Save Edge for resharpening. I don't know who would do that, but supposedly you can. One too many. Okay. Straight away. Yeah. That's fine. It undercuts the gullet better. Well, it probably gives you more of a hook if you have a slightly smaller file. Yeah. I try to stick with the witness marks rather than trying to do any other funny angles, unless I'm milling, in which case you go 10 degree, which means I got to take it with the grinder and set them. That's usually the easiest way to do it, at least in short term, and then you can hand file after that. 2-cycle lawn boy mowers. I got a friend that does. I don't know. I doubt Joe is watching right now, but some people are really into those things, though. How many more do I have to go? A lot. That's why I like skip chain. Why do you like skip chain? Because it doesn't take that long to sharpen, even on a 36-inch. Pick your favorite saw you've built. That's hard. My favorite saws are either the 394s or the 350s. So it's kind of hard to pick because I like both of them. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the 394. But that might change like tomorrow. I love the way they start. I preferentially grab my 272 to my 372s. My 660 clone is getting a bit of a workout these days just for the hell of it. Sometimes I go just grab that for the hell, even though it feels big and bulky, but I just grab it. I like my 372s, but I could probably do without them. I could probably get away with my 350s and my 394s. But that's just me. EC saw 372 I can't put down. Check the catalog channel, she has them. Yeah, you know, I like my 372s. I don't know if you saw the last get-together at Lee's, the videos that I posted of that. I'm really happy with how my 372 did, and of course my 346 and my 394, but the 372 did really well in the cants. But I don't know, I could probably do without it. Maybe that's me. I don't know. I ran it pretty good the other day, gave it a good workout at the same job site this went to today, actually. And I had a great time with it. But I don't know. 394, 350, my favorite. A lot of guys are into the 262s. I have one. It's probably one of the most powerful 262s out there. I had really nice port work done by the dock down in Long Island, and I did the rest of the build. But, you know, my hand doesn't go to grab it. I don't know why, it just doesn't. I'd sooner grab a 272 for some reason. You'd like to build a 390 XP like this. I guess nothing wrong with the 390s. It's just like a bigger 372, basically. So if you like your 372, this feels like the Cadillac version of a 372. That's kind of what this feels like. How many was that? Did you guys count? Was that 10 or was that 17? Crud. Because I think I'm all the way around finally. So now what I'll do, actually you gotta mark it. So I've tried to even up the teeth as much as I can. And now I'm gonna even up the rakers. Just two swipes. You're supposed to measure. This is more like cheating. And yes, I know that. So just everybody knows that I know that, and I know that you know that. We're good. What I think I do want to do tonight, we'll change out the carburetor on this. Should we do that now? Rather than get me... I want to put a 372 X-Torque carburetor on here. I want to put one on here that I thought was bad. It's on my last 372, one of my last builds, the 372. I could have sworn the carburetor was bad, changed out the carburetor, and it wasn't. It was the coil. So I know I need to do the other side of the chain, but I'll save that for another time. Let's do the carburetor here. Now I did do that metal thread repair on here, and it has not come loose. That bolt's tight. The only bolt that's come loose so far in this rebuild is one of the top cover bolts. Let's see. How's the angle? Okay, we're good there. You guys can sort of see what I'm doing. Yeah, the threads on that don't look amazing, so oh well. Yeah, so I actually have this X-Torque carburetor here, and supposedly these work in a 385. Let's take it apart first and just make sure it's not too gunked up. Twelve people on. Who's here? Anybody new show up? I'm just pulling a carburetor apart, kind of for the hell of it. How was everybody's day? Youth wasted on the young, yeah. As I'm getting older, it is more and more true. Now remember, guys, brake cleaner on carburetors, not carb cleaner. Looks pretty clean inside. What I like to do is put a little brake cleaner here and then press the lever and see if it goes through. No liquid going through. Yeah. Carb cleaner swallows the rubber and then it sticks. And this is a little bit low. There we go. What I find is that screens, even if they look clear to you and you can put brake cleaner straight through them, they're not always ungunked. Hey Patrick, you're welcome. I want to see brake cleaner go right through. It isn't. Yeah, boiling water can restore the rubber if you want to bother with that, but I would venture a guess that I would only do that if parts were completely unavailable for said whatever you're working on. So if it doesn't go through with the screen in, check it without the screen. Perfect. So the screen is the problem, which means you have no fuel flowy, which is bad. So now I need to find another screen. Speaking of things I would like, would not necessarily be a gift to Harbor Freight, although that wouldn't be bad. Just like a carburetor miscellaneous parts kit would be great. Like a pile of screens would be useful, because I seem to go through them. Tillotson. Carb kit. Here's a carb kit. Spring. Carb kit. I thought I had some screens separately. May have used all. Who knows? Screen there. I think I need to buy some separate screens. That's what I need to do. There happens to be one in here. Let's take this one. We're going to steal this screen. New screen in. That's that. So the rest of this looks pretty good. So I'm just going to put all this back together. I need like 10 screens just to have them. I think they actually do sell just the screens by themselves, but I'd love to find somebody that sells all this stuff in bulk. You know, 100 screens for $10 type of thing, which is exactly what it probably should cost, but is what a Tillotson. No, this is a RWJ4 from a 372 X-Torque. Is that a Tillotson? No, that's the Walbro for the 390. I don't remember what the designation is. I'll check. I get them by the gross from iRotary Co. You do? I'm going to have to look that up. too stretched out, not too gunked up. Better. Wouldn't you love to be in a business where people are throwing money at you and you're like, nah, you need a tax number to give me money? Well, there you have that. Okay. Let's pull this carburetor out. Let's get the throttle out. Let's see if I can call it. 15 people on. Who's here? I think people come and go and hang out and leave and just trying to hear about people's days. What do you guys do? Just pulling a carburetor out here. Nothing too terribly exciting. Last running stint on 2008, still the same part numbers. Just pulling the main carburetor bolts out. Out. And this does have the red insert thingy dingies, which by the way are like $2 a piece. Anybody have any ideas for these darn things? It's going in with grease. Now I need a hammer. Yep, and now I just folded it over. Awesome. I know, probably supposed to put it from the other end, right? Dumbest parts ever. Okay. G3, some good names in there. Just not going in. They have these lines on them. Garth, have I seen you around here before? 2-cycle and a C-clamp. I've got grease on the darn thing. I guess I could use a C-clamp. Do I have one? I don't have a C-clamp. I do have somewhere. This clamp. It folded over. Dumb. I hate stuff that runs with so little margin of error. It's just... Let's try this. It was close, Garth. Yeah, it was not a bad idea. It was a good idea. I think it was definitely better than how I was doing it, but it just slide in and slide out. What's the big deal? There's no, if the hole is 6 millimeters and it needs to go down to 5, it's a 1 millimeter thickness, it should just slide right in. Doesn't have to be press fit. Double check. Okay. I need this thing. Garth, keep the good ideas coming, buddy. Hey, Multi. Purpose for the carb change. The other one was running okay. There was a significant amount of adjustment to get it to richen up. It did richen up, but I'm just curious if this would be better. That's all. $17 people watching now. 10 o'clock. Bedtime. Now I got 17 people watching. Okay. Oh, is that line too kinked now? There, that looks good, but now I gotta pull it in from the gas tank, probably. It also gives me something to do while you guys are hanging out here. Sorry guys, I'm just moving the gas line here so that it's kind of stretched through appropriately. It's got to come out of the tank and curve up just right. Connecticut is a taxi to death state. Yes, that's why people are leaving. Another good topic. People are leaving Connecticut by piles. You know, like 25% of the people that leave Connecticut go to Florida. Florida is the recipient of 25% of all the people that leave here. You believe that? So it's bedtime, so I can't do a start and run. Sorry, guys. But I will let you know if the carburetor helped. This all runs. It's powerful. I was noodling oak with it the other day. Powerful. I just want to make sure it's just right before I give it back to Seth. Right, Seth? Okay. He's probably not watching anyway. Past his bedtime too. Cool. Okay. Damn Yankees. They're the damn Yankees are the ones that they go down and they stay. That's the damn part. And the reason I know that is because I went to school in Texas, which truly is a different country. Yeah, amazingly, the X-Torque carburetor fits on the 385. There are no natural-born Floridians anymore. Okay, before we get started down any of those other paths, I'm going to call it a night. Say thank you guys for watching, and we will pick this up tomorrow with... hopefully I get the blower parts tomorrow and the 200T parts tomorrow, so that'll be cool because we'll have something actually to do tomorrow night. What do you guys think about that? So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Do appreciate it, and we'll catch you guys later. Any questions, comments, anything else? We got 14 people here. Anybody wants t-shirts? Let's see, right here. Actually, here. Let me put this up so I can talk to you guys. Anybody wants t-shirts? I don't have the big ones right now, but I have the smaller ones. So if anybody wants t-shirts, they can email me. Here's my email. Yes, I don't have big ones. Sorry for the guys that need the double XLs or triple or whatever. I don't have t-shirts. Obviously, if anybody has questions about tools, they can email me. I did not hear from the machinist today, but I really hope to be in queue for very soon, within weeks. 2 XLs by Christmas. Ken, I don't know because I have to sell the other ones first in order to place an order for the big ones. I don't know. I've literally sold one. So, and I've got a dozen of these things that I bought, and they were literally $20 a piece. So, it was right as of right now. It was a very expensive gag to begin with. Kind of fell flat, but whatever. You're welcome, Garth. Thanks for coming by. And yeah, if you want, best way to support the channel, email me about tools, buy a t-shirt if you just want to buy a t-shirt for a gag, and check out my links to HL Supply. Those are in my main chainsaw videos, and go there and buy something. Okay, thanks very much, everybody, and you guys have a great night. Be safe.